So some fools would say, you all just wanted to watch the Minecraft movie. That's not a dog movie. But it is a dog movie. I have definitive proof. It starts out with dead parents. There is a dog that grabs the MacGuffin and is in mortal danger and is being chased by everybody. It finds a new home throughout the movie. And, most telling of all, the movie totally forgets a dog exists in it about a third of the way through.
It's true. I just wanted to look at somebody punching a tree to make brown bricks in Minecraft. Anyway, how's it going, everybody?
First we mine, then we craft. Let's Minecraft!
Dogs, they're coming. They're coming your way. They'll be here soon.
Hey, they're the dog people, aren't they?
Who are you?
I am Steve. Okay.
This guy is such a tool bag.
Welcome to Rough Cuts, everybody. I'm your host, Ilian. This is my co-host, Boix. Normally what we do is we watch a bad dog movie in the morning and then immediately talk about it afterwards. This time we had to do it separately because we each went to our own movie theaters. After I was excited to see Chicken Jockey Shenanigans last week, we decided,
Chicken
fine,
Jockey!
fine, we gotta see Minecraft.
It's true.
And so we each watched it on our own. Thank you to our Patreon dollars for helping buy movie tickets so that we can watch Minecraft.
How much was your ticket, out of curiosity? Did you go to the cheap theater or the expensive theater?
There are no cheap theaters here. I mean, like, there is one, but they weren't playing Minecraft yet. There's
it's not late
second
enough
run.
in the run.
Yeah, there's a second run theater that does it. That's like a very local kind of place. But no, only the big theater had it, so I had to go to the big theater, which meant that it was in Canadian $14.
That's not that bad though.
So like
Thinking about it,
that's not terrible. That's like 10. That's like 10 American.
Yeah, I had to spend $20
Oh my god.
After tax for the non-3D regular showing.
Yeah, I did the non-3D. Yeah. 3D was
at a 4 p.m. showing.
Wow.
$20 after if you take into account like a snack or whatever, because that's how theaters make most of their money.
Did you put in you had a snack too then?
I had a snack. It was like $30 to see Minecraft.
Okay, well, okay. The ticket is only 20. I was like, well, if you're adding snacks, I mean, snacks are like
no. It was like $30 to see Minecraft with a snack.
The combo. If I had gone for that, they had like a combo that you could buy with the ticket, so you could save a whole lot of money. The cheapest one was only $23 for snacks.
Ooh.
So I had nothing.
Ooh.
I had a ticket.
That's not good. But I'm thinking like I'm thinking a little bit because we went to the theater and about the death of the movie theater, so to speak.
Yeah, I love how
and
this
like,
is. We're just gonna complain
we're just gonna
go
into
Seinfeld
it
style about like, hey, like, you know the price of tickets these days, and God, the popcorn, and
it actually does matter for Minecraft though.
It does
because Minecraft is a film that is expected. Well, the general audience that goes to a film, other than two elderly perverts with a notebook in the back of the theater.
The worst part, okay, I had assigned seating, so they put me near the front, and so I'm sitting near the front with all these people behind me going like, hey, what's that guy alone?
But like,
other
than us, right? It's the family.
It's
the family with their
movie.
2 or 3 kids.
Yep.
That are all coming in.
I had one of those in front of me.
So if you're thinking about the price of a theater ticket, that's $20 per adult.
Oh, it's absurd, yeah.
So it's like $40 per adult. Maybe $15 for a kid, 10. I'm thinking US.
Yeah.
So you're easily looking at $60 without food. You have to get food for the kiddos.
If you've got kids, you're getting food.
And those combos are like $15 each.
Yeah.
So you're looking at like almost $100 to go to a movie. So is the Minecraft movie worth $100? That's the question I think we have to answer today.
Man, the Switch 2 gaming prices,
right? But okay, so the theater experience.
That is a thing. The theater experience is a big thing.
While we're talking about that, my theater. So I was 4 p.m. on a Wednesday. Maybe not the most ideal situation for trying to experience the cultural revolution of Minecraft, of a bunch of teenagers throwing popcorn and shitting and pissing all over the floor. Which is the experience I've heard of.
That's the experience I wanted to have, yeah.
Somebody has bubbles. Oh my god. Egg on the screen. Oh my god.
I don't think that's the experience either of us had. But mine is almost certainly because of the time. And the
Maybe,
date.
yeah.
But so I had 3 families in my theater. So 2 adults and like 2 to 3 kids each, and that was it. And then me. So pretty empty, but not the ideal time. So you went on a Friday night?
I went on a Friday night at 9:00, baby.
That's like prime time.
Prime time. It was about a third full, maybe.
And this is like 2 weeks after release because of your vacations. We had to put it off.
Yeah,
but 2 weeks after release for a big blockbuster, you could consider
not doing great.
Like that's not amazing.
I'm sure not amazing. It's not. I don't think that it's like terrible, but it's not amazing.
So there's that to consider. Where I think this is sort of like a Morbius situation to me, where it got blown out of proportion online, and it's not actually that big of a joke.
Yeah,
thing, right. People weren't going, like, nobody went to Morbius as like, wow, this movie sucks, let's make fun of it. People just made fun of it.
Yeah.
Like, so there's that to consider. I also want to talk a bit about, since we're talking about movie experience, sitting down and waiting for the movie has gotten so much worse in recent years. And like
they
the
just
last
assume
5,
that
10,
you've got a phone, so they just go forever.
They go on way longer. My movie started at 4 p.m. supposedly.
Yeah.
But there were 15 minutes of television ads, 30-second ads.
Yep.
Running back to back of all the different foods and toys that you could buy for your kids.
What is the deal with ads in theaters?
Like, I paid you $30 to sit in the seat. Why are you showing me ads for a toy and 7 different soda brands? What are you doing?
No, I understand. But, like, so in my theater, it was a little busier, but I wanted to... The reason why I wanted to see it in theater was I did want to see if we would get, like, a chicken jockey moment, because unironically, I think that it is really neat to have, like, that kind of audience engagement. I think that it sucks for theater staff, but I also think that, like, there's a lot of adults and stuff that are losing their shit that, like, oh my god, look at the kids, these little ruffians, and at the same time, they'll tell stories about when they were kids and they were out, like, smoking weed and beating people up outside the school. And you're like, hey, maybe this is...
We smoked weed and then snuck into the theater and it was the coolest shit. I saw a boob once. Like, okay, yeah, man, like whatever.
Right, but their shenanigans are lovable, even if they're way worse than what this is. And then all the kids nowadays are horrible little monsters. And I thought that it was kind of neat that there was something that, like, kids were deciding to just kind of be little shits about, but that wasn't really hurting anyone. It honestly is one of those things where I think that it's pathetic the way that theaters and, like, people kind of reacted, where people don't understand an opportunity sometimes. They yell and scream and call the cops on these kids instead of doing like the obvious thing of, all right, we're going to have a special Friday night where you're allowed to scream and throw stuff at the screen. We'll pay our staff a little bit extra and like charge $1 more, and you can have like an apeshit Minecraft experience because people are doing
That's what
this, so
people
we might as
want.
well like...
That's what people
right?
want.
But like, they honestly, if you're sitting there thinking about it, if you're like, well, you can just sit here and go, hey, let's encourage it in the right way when we know it's going to happen and just have fun with it. Like they do that with Rocky Horror. So just have like a fun special event of it instead of...
What was it? The Taylor
losing your
Swift
shit.
movie. The Taylor Swift movie that came out a
Yeah.
bit ago, the live concert. People were getting up in their seats and dancing in the theater and loudly karaoke singing along with it. And
Yeah.
that was shamed online. I'm like, no, this is an experience, a
It's a
shared
concert.
human concert. You're not going to sit in a movie theater quietly listening to a concert.
That's so
Are you
ridiculous. That's
stupid?
absurd. Yeah.
So that, the whole thing, I'm like, I just wanted to experience that. For the record, did not happen in my theater, but
I was gonna say, now we need to talk about what happened when Chicken Jockey came up.
I did hear kids constantly talking to their parents, which is a normal kid thing.
Yes, yeah, of course.
Like young kids. Let's talk about the Chicken Jockey thing, I guess. I still want to talk
I
about
just
some
wanted to
ad
mention
stuff
it,
and stuff later, but we'll go back to it. Chicken Jockey. So there was a scene going around on social media of a theater where Jack Black says Chicken Jockey, and this Chicken Jockey zombie. So for people that, okay, I'm an elderly man. For people that don't know Minecraft, Chicken Jockey's just a random. Holy shit! that was the Chicken Jockey. That was the Chicken Jockey, right?
That was basically Chicken Jockey. It's a random chance for a little zombie to land on a chicken.
Because there's enemies in the game that are like small children zombies.
Yes.
And they can randomly land on a chicken and then ride it around like a horse or a pig or whatever. And that's it. That's the whole thing. It's super rare. It doesn't happen at all, really, in the game. And when it does, in the Minecraft kidverse, it's the hypest shit ever.
Yeah.
I assume.
Chicken Jockey.
I assume. So there was a clip going around of this theater of kids and teens just going wild. Like, yo, what the fuck? And like throwing shit.
Bought a gigantic like bag of popcorn, like one of the plastic ones that's like 1.5 feet tall, and we're like throwing it everywhere.
Yeah. And then immediately afterwards, the cops got called. And they arrested some children. Or that's the story. They may have just been escorted out of the theater.
The no fun zone.
It's the no fun zone. And then that became a big thing. Like, whoa, people are really going fucking wild online at the theater. And I think it might have just been the one
hooligans
theater
these days.
The one.
It's probably just the one.
A viral trend causing chaos for people heading to the movies in Utah. You might have seen some of these videos. Crowds at the Minecraft movie shouting and tossing popcorn everywhere.
Yeah, what's going on here? Well, some theaters tell us the hype is going too far after one person snuck a live chicken into a screening in Provo. Our Jonathan May tells us what happened next.
When Jack Black's character Steve says the words Chicken Jockey, fans of the movie go crazy. But here in Provo, that's when workers had enough.
Chicken Jockey!
When the Chicken Jockey scene came on, that's when everything just broke loose. There was popcorn flying through the air. There was confetti cannons being blown off, and then a live chicken was in our theater. And in the Chicken Jockey scene, there's a crate that comes down, and it releases a chicken, and then a baby zombie comes in on top of it, and Jack Black says, Chicken Jockey, and then everybody goes crazy.
Provo police say they are aware of the video and are looking into it. Reporting in Provo, Jonathan May, ABC4 News.
So yeah, the Chicken Jockey scene happened in my theater, and there was no reaction. The three groups of kids, just nothing. Literally nothing.
in my theater with quite a few more people, with like, I don't know, there was probably 50 people in the theater or something. Maybe not that many, but with a bunch more people. It was the chicken jockey landed, and the kid in front of me goes, "Hey, it's the chicken jockey," to their parents. And then other than that, it was
that rules.
Dead silence.
I think one kid in my theater asked,
I know.
"Is that it? Is it over?" That's the end of like, okay, pretty good. Yeah, it was nothing. So it's like, okay, well,
it's a nothing thing, you know.
So that leads me to believe, like, would social media lie to me about something? Wait.
I've never been more disappointed in a social media theater experience since Blair Witch.
I am wagging my finger at you, social media. How dare you lie to me about Minecraft? I was going to go see it anyway.
Yeah, it's a dog movie.
It is absolutely. The dog is like a central character. That's a dog
Yes,
movie.
We need to talk about the movie.
No, we don't, because I'm mad about something. I was talking about
man yell at Clive. Please talk about the prices of tickets these days.
Not the prices. Not the prices. So the ads at the beginning of the movie, I was trying to get to this. In my theater, one of the ads was about a Minecraft-themed debit card for children.
Okay, yeah, it's fucked up.
That is fucked up.
Yeah, that's real fucked up.
It was trying to sell a debit card to the kids in the audience so that they would ask their parents to get a card that they could then charge things to and get overdraft fees for their parents, so the banks could steal money from them.
These are the new limited edition A Minecraft Movie debit cards. Acorns Early is a smart money app and debit card for kids ages 6 to 18.
Which, what the fuck? So that's what I was trying to get to, where I'm like, what the fuck are they doing? I paid $30 for this ticket. Why are you doing this?
Well, but now they can scam children into spending way more than $30. Like, overdraft fees are a lot more than that. You're great. They're great now.
It's like $20 every time you overdraft, and with a kid buying things on Roblox, you know.
Oh man.
Anyway, I don't know what the fuck they were doing, so I'm not going to talk about previews or anything. It's fine. I did think that showing the James Gunn Superman preview with an incredibly bloody start was maybe not appropriate for a Minecraft movie audience of some small children.
They did that in my theater too, which was kind of weird.
Because one of the kids in the audience was like, I like that, except for the beginning where Superman was bleeding. Just out loud in the theater. And I'm like, oh, great.
It's not that bloody, but...
No, to be fair, I actually really like that trailer, but it just seemed inappropriate for a child audience.
Sure.
Anyways, so Minecraft the film, they had to start it off like explaining Minecraft to adults, is how I think the intro was. It was weird, right? Like, it's this weird monologue where Jack Black's just talking to the audience, like, this is Minecraft. It's the world where you build things and it's creative. And I want to go to the mine.
For the mines.
And it just feels fucking weird as an intro. Like, I don't know what they were doing.
It has a strange energy at the start. I liked it in a way, other than, we're going to get into my problem with this movie. So, it's a lot of jokes. A lot of jokes at the beginning here. Just kind of snapping them off real fast.
Yeah.
And doing this whole setup. It's essentially a montage opening almost too, where it's just like Jack Black going through all of his adventures in Minecraft as he like establishes the world and on and on and on. But the problem that I have with it, and I think this is probably the problem you have with it, is I think that they get set up really well in this movie. So they set up like the idea of the Minecraft world underneath the regular world and like just different dimensions or whatever. And all the early characterization of people is fun. Like, Jason Momoa's character, the way that they portray him is fun. The way that they do Jack Black's kind of fun. Like, they have some decent jokes in some of those moments, but then they have to go, okay, and here's plot. And the problem is, they don't have any.
Kind of? Yeah. So it's a standard intro. I was saying we didn't even need to see this movie to figure out the plot. figure out what it was going to do,
Yeah,
like structure-wise, right? Like they're going to introduce the characters one by one. They're going to somehow end up in the same room, get pulled into the Minecraft verse. Minecraft things will happen, including battles and enemies just doing random things. So we have to go to a mine. We have to fight skeletons. There has to be a creeper. We have to get things that we build on a table. Like
you have to have a woman hit a villager with her Jeep Grand Cherokee,
and then fuck it.
That's this is a plot point, okay?
That
like,
part I think is actually funny.
That was actually funny. Yeah, that was. Although it's very interesting as an ad spot because that's what it is. Because they constantly go Jeep Grand Cherokee, like very, very carefully
the whole word,
and very
it's true.
Obviously and loudly, like multiple times through that joke. But it's real weird that it's Jeep Grand Cherokee. I hit him with my Jeep Grand Cherokee is like a really weird way to advertise your Jeeps.
Do you know how many people you can hit with a Jeep Grand Cherokee? That's a good sales pitch. Fuck.
You motherfucker, you watched her when I took a sip.
But, okay, so there's going to be a MacGuffin. They need to get the MacGuffin back, but the villain will get the MacGuffin, and then they have to fight to get it back again. And then a big battle happens. That's an epic battle, and then the kid wins, and they all become friends or some bullshit. Like, it's a pretty standard kid's tale.
That's exactly the plot.
Yes. And it's a mix, in this case, I'd say it's a mix of Jumanji, Super Mario Brothers, the good movie. Not the new one.
Yeah.
Not the new one. I would not call the new movie's like fine. I wouldn't say it's good in what I enjoy.
Sure.
And oddly enough, I think this movie's also a mix of Nacho Libre, School of Rock, and then Napoleon Dynamite. Like the two Jack Black movies and a movie that is not a Jack Black movie, but very well could have been.
See, for me, my first thought on this thing when I went to go and see it, and as I was watching it, was it's going to be another Lego movie. Like, Lego movie became the template for pretty much all of the...
Oh, yeah, I could see that.
Like, it kind of became the template for all of the big, like, brand movies. So, like, the Barbie movie is just the Lego movie. Like,
That's
it's got
true.
its own spin on things, but it's the Lego movie, right? It's like, that toy that you liked, it actually exists, it fosters creativity in some way, and that's good, and that's what our message of the movie is going to be, is that creativity, awesome, cool,
I mean,
enjoy our brand.
Not quite all those movies. The Battleship movie wasn't like that.
Okay, but it was... Battleship was before Lego movie,
so
it was the
so
prototype.
that's
that's
why.
the thing. They
That's
built
why.
off of it for the Lego movie, and then...
But when are they going to make the Sorry movie? Like, they're just sorry to you that they made it. And that's
Canadian funding just isn't what it is anymore. It used to be anymore, Boix. Like, Peanut Butter Solution kind of wiped us out.
Yeah, the
for
Peanut
a
Butter
while,
Solution
so
was too much.
That was our...
No,
we had to hire Celine Dion for that. She's expensive.
I think you're right. But I also think they were trying to market this to multiple audiences.
Yes,
one being
absolutely.
the gamers that grew up. Minecraft's fucking old. I don't know if you know this.
Oh, yeah.
Minecraft's
Yeah.
what, like 15 years old now? 10?
I think more than that.
If I'm considering like the original version,
Yeah,
before Microsoft bought it.
I know, yeah.
Yeah,
like I played it when it was in beta. I was one of the people that
Yeah.
sent money into like the PayPal to just get access to it.
So the audience that grew up with it are the 30-something, 40-something like retro gamers.
Yes,
And
there's an
the
audience,
kid phenomenon.
Yeah, it has a problem of that was part of the things that I really wanted to talk about, is how confused this movie is about what its audience is, which it kind of has to be because, like you said, the age range is absurd.
Yep.
And for me, the issue that they get into is that they have, like, the plot sucks, for one thing. Like, at
It's
least
not great.
in, like,
Yeah.
Lego Movie, it's kind of interesting. Like, Lego Movie is a great movie. That's why everybody copies it. But, like, in some of those, they've got really good plot. In this, they kind of feel like they just fucking airdrop it in right at the end. But also, they have... Okay, let me just count them out again. So we have a Steve. Who is Jack Black, and he's got to get the MacGuffin back so he can rescue his dog that he thinks that they have. Dog movie. See?
It's a dog movie, yeah.
Dennis, his dog. You have... God, who are the two kid characters? It's Natalie.
Henry and Natalie.
Henry,
yeah,
right.
Henry. So Natalie is Emma Myers, who is Wednesday in that hit like Addams Family spinoff that came out, which was really good on Netflix supposedly. I haven't watched it.
Yeah, I haven't seen.
But yeah, so it's those two. So it's the family.
You have Natalie and Henry, which is the family. You have Steve. You have Jason Momoa's character, who's the garbage
man, who's the
garbage man Garrett.
It's funny because he's the Pixels character.
He is. He's totally
literally the Pixels character.
He's the Peter Dinklage Pixels character. And then we have Real Estate Agent, who I'm gonna get into.
Real Estate Agent / Zoo Lady, who I think her name was Dawn. But that's Danielle Brooks, who is fantastic in Peacemaker. I fucking love her in Peacemaker.
Hey, Sweet Cheeks, can you take my order real quick?
Seriously, dude?
She had cherubic cheeks. It's a compliment. Sweet Cheeks is your butt. No, it's not.
It is. It's like calling somebody, I don't know, sugar tits.
Totally inappropriate.
Oh,
that show.
I haven't seen it.
Show is so good, and then she's also in Orange Is the New Black. Which was really good. So
she's a good actress.
And then there's like a whole side plot with the principal, who is Jennifer Coolidge.
Yeah, there's a little thing with her. But my main thing is with those characters, the ones that go into Minecraft world.
Mm-hmm.
And my issue is that each of them is the protagonist.
Yeah, they all kind of have their own thing they're trying to do, and they're all kind of in the forefront. Yeah.
They're all in the forefront almost equally. But that means there's not enough time spent on any of them, and the focus of the movie is non-existent because it's trying to have all of these arcs reach the same satisfying style conclusion when it's constantly like hopping between all of them and doesn't have enough time to build on any of them.
Thinking back to what I was comparing this to, Jumanji.
Mm-hmm.
Jumanji has Robin Williams, who gets sucked into the Jumanji board game, comes back out later, grown, with a beard. And he's like, what year is it? Me, when I see the Minecraft movie, what year is it?
But it does feel 15 years too late.
But he has his own arc where he's like trying to reconnect to the world that he lost 20 years ago, 30 years ago, 50, whatever it was. And then there's the kids that get sucked in that now have to like solve the problem of the hunter and everything coming out of the world to destroy their home and their family, that family. So that's kind of split between all those characters too, but they all have a single goal.
All have a shared
goal,
which
is to reset the world of Jumanji.
Yes.
And get back to the normal world. This is similar, except they all have different goals. That's the big problem.
They all have different goals.
Because Jason Momoa wants to get money so he can save his dying business, because he's a hack fraud, washed up gamer. Unlike me.
He's very much Billy Mitchell.
He's unlike me.
They're trying to... Yeah.
But Steve...
I don't see any of myself in Momoa, no.
Steve wants to get his cool dog back and live in the Minecraft world forever because he hates the real world or something. I don't know. The daughter...
Yeah, his motivation is unclear. Like, this is part of it, is they don't do a good job of motivating them.
The daughter, I guess the sister, because she's basically taking care of her younger brother because their parents died or something.
Dead parents, dog movie.
But
check it.
she just wants to raise her brother and have a stable home life and income, and that's it.
Well, also for her, like you said, there's this whole thing about the dead parent. They also have it where the real estate lady mentions this too, where it's like, oh, well, like, you're doing your mother a huge favor by, living her last wish and stuff.
No?
Because your mother always had the final wish that she gave you that you have and all this, and you're like, okay, what is it?
Well, anyway.
They never... Whoop! Like, they just dropped that.
Henry just wants to be cool and make friends or something in a new town.
He wants to be creative and not get bullied at school.
There was a whole line about creative kids get bullied, and I thought that was kind of funny.
It's very funny.
And
because it's not shown in the movie, really. Like,
there are bullies, but... that's
what I mean. Like, it's the quickest brush over it, right?
We watched another Jack Black movie about bullies, which actually did it way better, and that was The Neverending Story 3.
Yes.
Somehow.
Yeah, it did. Somehow.
Take the world in the love of rays. Fire all of the guns at once and explode into space. Like a true nature's child, we rub on the wild. We can climb so high, I'll never wanna die.
You just need Jack Black to be the bully. That's the problem.
See, that would have worked if Steve was a bully in this movie.
Mm-hmm,
and then the real estate agent, she wants to quit her real estate job and just take care of animals full time because she has to do 2 jobs or something because she hates hustling. I don't know what this was about.
She has the least characterization of all, and I feel really bad about that because
they kind of did this thing early too, where like, here's Jason Momoa's character. He's a washed-up has-been who has no friends. He needs to get a friend, so you can already see where that arc's going. Henry makes a jetpack, so he's gonna make a jetpack or a gun or something. Like, he's an inventor.
Jetpack.
He's gonna take out, Abe.
I was gonna say he's gonna make the device. Yes, to change course of history. Yep.
Natalie's gonna
learn to be successful.
Something.
Like what the
and the real estate lady is going to become like a zookeeper and just take care of animals. Or she's gonna meet animals in the woods and make friends with them. Like, you can already tell what's gonna happen, right?
Yeah, kind of. But
it annoys me because I think the beginning of the movie is actually the best part.
Oh yeah,
the first 10 minutes where they're in the real world and they're all just interacting with each other and they're at school. I hate school stuff. We have so many movies about school stuff, but I'm like, the school stuff was actually kind of fun and charming. And
the school stuff in this is better, yes.
And they even did the tater tot joke from Napoleon Dynamite. That's why I was mentioning Napoleon Dynamite. It's like, yo, you got tots?
Bro, you had tots the whole time?
Yeah, sorry.
Which is also another ad spot.
Absolutely.
I have some rights for some ad spots. Jeep Grand Cherokee hitting people and tater tots featured prominently in this.
Yeah, that's true.
Also, Sizzler, which sponsors
there was a
Jason
fucking
Momoa's...
Sizzler. I saw that. It didn't register.
It sponsors Jason Momoa's character because he's a hot gamer in 1989, and so they sponsor him like companies did to gamers in the 80s.
It did come across as a joke instead of just an ad, so they tried a little
they all
bit.
Come across as jokes.
I think Sonic does that too, where they're like, "Hey, you want to go to Olive Garden?" Like.
That turns out that it wasn't an ad spot.
What the fuck?
Yeah, they came out with that. I've heard supposedly. I need to triple check, but I heard afterwards they were like, no, we thought it was way too funny, and so we put it in.
That's bullshit.
So like, okay, that's actually great. That's actually, if that's true, that's actually unironically good.
But all that pre-Minecraft world stuff is interesting and quirky.
Yes,
and it feels like what they should have done. Instead of just being randomly all sucked into the Minecraft world through a nether portal, is the Minecraft world should have just invaded the real world, and they keep interacting in that environment, because that was the interesting part. And then they have to, punch real trees and use Minecraft skills in the real world to solve a problem. I'm just making Masters of the Universe again, is what I'm doing in my head.
Maybe.
They need...
Also, little pixels.
That is.
A little harder into
hold
the
on, wait.
verse
That
there.
is a little bit of pixels.
That is a little bit of pixels, especially when you've got Jason Momoa's Garbage Man character.
Garbage Man.
They do set up very well. Like, that's the thing is, I don't know exactly what this movie needs to fix it, but that's how I had said earlier that like as they get into the plot later on, like the setup is actually really good. I was finding myself into it. I have notes from my theater that I'd like to talk to you about with this, where for the first 45 or so minutes of the movie, while they're kind of setting things up and they're crossing into Minecraft world and doing all of like, even some of the initial Minecraft setup stuff is pretty good. Like, them getting into the world and learning to interact with it is pretty okay. And
kind of.
It starts going downhill, but
Yeah.
like, it's still okay. And that's in my notes here, like how I'd said, the setup is great, and then the plot happens, and they don't have a plot set out, and they don't have character arc set out beyond like the most broad brush strokes possible for a bunch of characters, so they don't ever get a real resolution. So the back half of this movie's a mess. And I have laughs that I started counting, because there was a lot of laughs, actually.
Your theater had laughs?
There was a lot of laughs at the beginning of this movie, for sure.
Okay.
There were more adult laughs than child laughs from the family in front of me. There were 19 adult laughs. I have the kids that they had laughed 12 times, and the teens laughed only 9 times. There was a lot of cross-pollination between the teen and adult laughs, but it was all for like early setup. The last 2 laughs for the adults were in the last 45 minutes.
Most of my notes are the first 10 minutes. So
yeah, the first 17 laughs out of the 19 laughs for adults were in the first 45 minutes, and then they had 2 laughs at the very end of the movie, and that was it. So like, this theater just slowly went like, ha.
Okay, but that's better than Borderlands.
This is way better.
When somebody laughed in Borderlands, I wanted to punch them in the face.
Yes. Oh, yeah, no, absolutely. No, that's what's frustrating about this movie, is that it is close to something that could work. Like, it really skirts the lines around, like, Lego Movie and Barbie and all the, like, a lot of better movies like Jumanji, and it kind of, like, sees all of the things that could make it great, and it goes, whoop, and ducks and dodges to the side of all of the ways that they could have made this movie actually work, and they fuck all of it up.
It's true.
Somehow in the back half of it.
I know exactly why it doesn't work. I figured it out, by the way. It's because the performances are disingenuous to the scenario that they've been put in. The characters and the actors are all in on the joke. Is the reason.
Yeah,
so,
I can kind of see
so when
that.
they're saying like, flint and steel, like, it's so extra and over the top, but the characters aren't reacting like it's extra and over the top. It's just like, yeah, it is flint and steel. That's so funny. That's in the game. Do you know that? Like, it's
there's definitely a lot of point at screen reference. I know
it's
that.
It's so self-referential, but you look at something like I was saying, the Super Mario Brothers movie. That movie is considered bad, which I don't think it is.
Yeah, I don't think.
But if you look at the characters, the Mario Brothers take it seriously. The villain is a serious villain that is actually seen as a threat. The world is seen as a living world, and characters interact in weird ways. And they're like, well, you have to trust the fungus. And they don't look at the fungus like, wow, trust the fungus, am I right? Like the fucking Marvel shit that happens nowadays. It's like, what the hell does that mean? Trust the fungus, right? Like,
they take it as an actual thing being said
thing
to them in that universe, rather than something to snark at the audience with. Yeah.
Trust the fungus.
Trust the fungus.
And instead of that, in this movie, it's like, wow, I love that mushroom house you built. Haha. It's
a little bit.
It feels a very.
I wanted to talk about
I don't know.
The villain, like you said, was a big problem for me, because the villain gets to my other problem that I have with this. One of the things that I know that I think is really wrong, which is, again, some of the plotting, so the villain is this leader of the piglins, which, if you've played Minecraft, there is like the Nether.
Yeah.
And there's all these it's Minecraft hell. And there's all these weird pigs in it that have swords. So that they just make them the villains somehow, because there's not really any plot in Minecraft, which is a big part of the problem they have. And they make Malgosia, who I don't think is, unless they've updated something in Minecraft at some point.
I think it's an original character.
Pig sorcerer. I think it's an original thing.
She's basically like Ganon.
She's basically a Ganon. Yeah, that's very accurate, actually. But they have her trying to get the MacGuffin, which lets them travel between Minecraft world, Netherworld, and human world. And you're like, okay, well, why is she doing this? Doesn't necessarily matter, but they have to, in this movie, they try and find a way to justify it, because they also need to tie it into, like, their moral theming that they haven't been able to do any build-up for, which is the theme for this. Like, when you look at, like, Lego Movie, you have the whole thing of, Lego brings families together because the dad needs to learn to let go and play with his kids, right? Like, not glue all the Lego pieces together, and then actually spend time with his son, not be in meetings, all that kind of stuff. This tries to do that, but it goes, kids should be creative.
And not get bullied.
They should be creative, and that'll make them popular. And then they shouldn't be bullied for it. And so they have to make the villain hate creativity, which they do in the last, 10 minutes of the movie in a, 20-second flashback, where Jack Black goes, oh, well, you know how she got this way. She hates creativity because she tried to be a dancer on Nether's Got Talent, and everyone laughed at her, and so now she hates creativity. Okay, that's our plot now, so that's why she's bad, because that's why she hates creativity.
I did write down Pup Star dance competition.
But that's such a terrible, in the Lego Movie comparison, you have this theme go out throughout the movie where the whole inciting incident is that his dad isn't around, and then it kind of goes to a head, right? And in this, it's just well, we have all these different characters that all have different motivations, but one of them needs to be creative, so that's our main plot now, and it just...
That's kind of what I mean by it felt like it wasn't genuine. It wasn't genuine about its issues and what it was presenting, because it almost felt like a joke. Like, oh, a dance competition? Wow,
yes,
that's
exactly.
stupid.
Yeah, yes. You're definitely on
so
that.
I'm like,
yeah, it doesn't care even about its own supposed moral theme, like the main thrust of it. Because they're like, well, wait, we're a kid's movie. We've got to have some kind of, moral
You know how they
here.
could work it in better? Instead of having I'm Jack Black, I'm Steve, I went to the mines, and the mines were cool because I'm so creative, and I wanted to go to the world, but the world was too big, and I was too smart, so I made a house, and there was a dog. Instead of doing that, they could have just opened with the Pigman evil villain, talking about dancing, having a big montage that's moving, and she goes on stage and does the dance and then gets laughed off and just I'll take them all out. And then it goes, oh, the Minecraft movie,
Yes.
You need to set up the villain as the catalyst for all of this shit. Right?
Absolutely. It needed to pick, and here's where, it needed to pick a protagonist. It wanted the kid to be the protagonist for that theme and that moral.
Yeah.
But the beginning of the movie, 15 minutes of it is Garrett, which is Jason Momoa's character, who has a decent motivation and some interesting characterization there, and they really flesh him out to then immediately go, shit, well, he's not the moral thrust of this movie, so I guess that we just have to kind of put him as a side character. Maybe we'll just kill him off in the last half of the movie and then have him show up at the end for no reason.
He did pull a Roland.
Yeah, they Yes.
Stupid.
God, but they spend so long making his character this whole thing and giving him all of this motivation and everything, and then they just go, shit, well, he's not actually our protagonist, so we need to get somebody else in here, and it just doesn't work. But it's so frustrating because there's
he did have an arc, though. He did have an arc. Now you might think his arc is being redeemed and getting a friend and running a business. That is not the arc. His arc is a bromance.
Yes,
his arc is that he wants to smooch Steve from Minecraft.
He does want to smooch Steve from Minecraft.
And there are multiple scenes of them getting into very erotic situations.
Mm-hmm.
I wrote down. I will crush your head with my ass, Garrett.
Yeah.
There's a scene of Steve, sitting on his face or something. I don't remember. It was weird.
It was because they needed to get really tight to go through a hole. And
Oh, that's what it was.
They make a manwich.
That was during the ass to mouth flying.
That was the ass to mouth
scene.
This was actually like really good. This is honestly like really
No,
cool.
you need to put your head between my legs. We need to.
It's like, I understand. All right, I'm gonna squeeze real hard to protect you.
And then the whole movie is them be like, bro, and they're like man hugging and doing the predator handshake and like.
And that's why it sucks
That
so
stuff
bad.
is
They
funny.
drop his character. Like that's why I'm mad about this, because they have like you said, if they had done the Malgosia thing at the beginning and set that up, you could have done a movie about the creativity and had the kids be the main character and like build a really good movie around that. And if you instead wanted to do like this like the 30-year-old Garrett Garbage Man movie, and you wanted him to be the protagonist, you could have had this really funny bromance throughout it. That would have been great.
Yeah, it would have been great.
And instead they have half of each and don't spend enough time on either and drop them at different points, and then it just doesn't fucking work.
But that arc eventually ends with Steve being like, well, I do want to hug Garrett. I'm going to leave the Minecraft world so we could be bros.
So we can be bros.
And like, that is a funny arc. But that's not the arc.
It's a great arc.
That's not the arcs they set him up for. His arc was
No.
was getting a friend and saving his dying arcade business or whatever. His retro game store. His game store did have a Sega Saturn and a bunch of boomboxes, and it's not me. Stop self-inserting me into the movie.
They
Fuck
had
you, movie.
walls of CRTs.
It's not
that
me.
dude
Stop
is
it.
rolling in
That
rolling
dude is so
in dough
rich
from the
with all
Smash
those
community.
CRTs and boomboxes. Some of those boomboxes are like $3,000. I was noticing in the back. Those are expensive. Anyway, so there's that.
Yes.
I don't know if we need to talk about the plot. It's been like 40 minutes, but the point is, like, there isn't a plot.
There isn't a plot.
There's just
not a
things
plot.
that happen
You
for
went
like
through
50 minutes.
As you said, like, MacGuffin ends up in the real world. The kids find MacGuffin, get to Minecraft world. Villain steals MacGuffin. Kids steal it back. Movie ends.
There
that is the plot.
Things to point out, like, that just happen. There's the lava chicken thing. They're like, hey, that's in Minecraft. Isn't that funny?
Lava, chicken. Steve's lava chicken, yeah, it's tasty as hell. Ooh, mamacita, now you're ringing the bell. Crispy and juicy, now you're having a stack. Ooh, super spicy, it's a lava attack.
There's mine carts going into a creeper farm. That's my creeper farm. And like me, the audience is like, what the fuck is a creeper farm? What are you doing that for? And they never explain it in the film. It's just supposed to be a thing I know as a Minecrafter, I guess.
Which I think is okay.
And that's fine.
That was a decent moment, honestly. It was okay.
And then there's the Jack Black playing the electric sax joke. There's a joke where Jack Black on some late night show pulled out this electric sax toy. It's like 1, 2, and it's just like a toy saxophone that just plays like 3 different synths. That's it.
1, 2, 3, mother. Out.
And they did that in the movie as a way to distract enemies in the castle at the end. And me knowing that reference was like, okay, that's kind of funny because I understand what they're referencing.
Yes.
But in the context
lot
of the film, it's just like, what does this mean? There was a Snakes on a Plane reference at some point.
Was there?
Yes. I don't remember
that
exactly.
One. There's a lot of references in this thing.
There's a scene where Jack Black throws an egg and chickens pop out, and he's like, Riz.
Yes.
That was pretty fucking good. So there's all that. And I'm like, things are just happening, and it's kind of funny, but anyway, that's kind of the plot, is the point. There's also Dennis, the dog that we were talking about. Dennis probably has the most complete arc of any character in the film.
maybe?
Because Dennis starts off being, domesticated, I guess.
Yes.
By Steve. And he becomes his
Because in
best
Minecraft,
friend.
you feed dogs
Bones.
like wolves' bones,
Yep.
and then they become helpful dogs.
They become helpful. But so Dennis runs off with the MacGuffin and hides it under Jack Black's Steve's bed.
In the real
later
world,
on, Garrett buys it at a Storage Wars
Mm-hmm.
storage sale. And then the kid just randomly finds it and activates it and wanders into the Minecraft world. But Dennis, who's a dog in the real world that's a Minecraft dog, follows him back into the Minecraft world and eventually finds them and gets... he basically, leads part of the crew back to the other part when they get split up. So that they can meet
because you can
together.
smell Steve.
And so that's a Deus Ex Dogana moment.
Yep, yeah.
Where they
absolutely.
they need to get them back together, so Dennis is the catalyst for it. And then Dennis gets domesticated again from a wild dog, even though as a wild dog that has lost its collar, he still likes Steve and wants to help him.
Well, he's a wild dog that's lost his collar that still remembers Steve, and they give him the bone, and then they look at his collar,
which still says Dennis.
It says Dennis, but he doesn't have a collar because the villain took the collar
to blackmail Steve.
Blackmail Steve and show him, and she's shown him that it is Dennis's collar. So wait, why does this Dennis have a collar again? Why does it say It's fucking weird. It's a terrible. The plot is bad. It's so bad.
But Dennis then becomes the real estate lady's dog, and at the end of the movie, after Dennis attacks, it's like a Lord of the Rings moment where the treants show up or whatever. Mm-hmm. And Dennis shows up with all the wolves and attacks all the enemy skeletons and pigmen. And then afterwards, he goes back home to the real world to be real estate lady's dog in her Minecraft zoo that she runs real time, full time now, I guess real time. And then Steve's like, "No, go, Dennis. It's your life now. I don't need you. I have my bromance."
Which was a weird arc too there, because Jack Black's whole raison d'etre throughout the movie is to get back his dog. The minute he gets the dog back, he goes, "Hey, fuck that dog. I don't need that dog."
No,
you're like, wait,
what? You need your own life too, Dennis. Okay.
What?
Huh?
He's like, "Well, you changed my life. Now it's time that you change somebody else's."
But
what?
That line made me think that the catalyst was supposed to be Dennis. That sets everything into motion, and it only is by happenstance because it's actually the Storage Wars sale that sets it into motion, which almost has nothing to do with Dennis other than that he hid the MacGuffin under Steve's bed randomly.
It's almost like there's multiple protagonists in this movie, and it doesn't know which one to pick as the main one, so you constantly have these conflicting plot lines that don't really make sense because they need to have different reasons for every protagonist rather than a shared goal. It's a fucking nightmare.
My diamonds. Flint and steel. I'm Steve. Even outside of the stupid meme shit that the internet posts a lot, I think there is a heart to this film that is almost there.
Yeah, it's close. That's why it's frustrating.
And it just gets so muddied in the middle, and then it's oh fuck, we need to end. And I think, I don't know if this feels like it was because rewrites or something where they just have to fit a certain formula to get it to a certain audience. We need the adults to also be interested. But there's going to be 6-year-olds. Yeah. Oh, but the teens need to care. And it's almost like there's too many chefs in the kitchen. There's something.
I think that we're on to the main problem that is they're trying to find their audience, and their audience is 6-year-olds and 46-year-olds.
But
all the way through.
This is the kind of movie where you already have the audience, and you just need to go out there and just put yourself forward, and they will find it.
They needed to pick one.
The Super Mario Brothers movie, the original, doesn't really have an audience. They're just we're just gonna make this fucking Blade Runner film. And
Yeah.
you're gonna
Yeah, that's
like it
fair.
or
Yeah, they
you're
could've
not
just
gonna like
picked
it.
something. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And we're just gonna go all in on this shit. And if you don't like it, oh well. You know?
Oh well, yeah, whatever.
And-
Here's our movie. This is the
and
idea for
I
it.
think this is just like I do think there are too many sequels, there's too many things going on in theaters right now, and it's nice to have sort of an original IP that can start from scratch and be like, we're just gonna do this thing.
Mm-hmm.
But this feels like it was trying too hard to muddy that to really be
Yeah.
that special, unique thing
Yeah,
that it could
absolutely
have
agree.
been, and that's what's frustrating.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It maybe that's what it is, that it panders too much to what they think their audience is going to be, and it's just their audience is so spread out.
They should have taken, Mojang, Microsoft, you fucked up. You should have listened to, that's right, Ubisoft. They know how to make movies that are whatever and deal with it.
There is a werewolf movie that is kind of whatever, and just deal with it. It actually kind of slaps.
I'm just saying, Ubisoft, of all fucking people, figured this out.
Please hold off on being enemies. All I'm asking is that you be a good neighbor. Like Mr. Rogers.
With guns, though.
With guns, yes.
Okay, but now we're signing ourselves up to watch all the Assassin's Creed movies and shit, and I don't think that we want to do, and the Prince of Persia movie, and
There's also the dance movie that never came out. Their fucking dance video game.
were they gonna do a Just Dance?
They were gonna do a Just
Where's
Dance
it?
movie. They announced it, and then it never came out. There's probably a live action Rayman, which I don't know how that's gonna work, because how are you gonna get the arms to disappear? It's just floating hands and legs, and it would be, a live human being. So, anyway. I am Rayman.
Let's rate Dennis. Let's rate all the dogs. What are the dogs in this movie?
There's only one named dog.
There's only one named dog.
It's just Dennis, and then a copy-paste of Dennis.
And then a copy-paste of Dennis a whole bunch to make an army.
That's it. But, well, I guess you could count... I guess there's another dog. But so Dennis is the good boy. The goodest boy. Dennis gets pets. Dennis is essentially the whole driving force of the film.
Yeah, the minute that Dennis leaves is about when this movie goes downhill, actually.
Yeah.
To be fair, because I said they forget about Dennis about a third of the way through, and that's about when all the laughs fell off and everybody stopped paying attention.
I think Dennis is a very good dog. I would rate Dennis a good 360 degrees, 490-degree angles, like some sort of a square.
Oh, yeah.
Out of 10.
I'm going to have to say that Dennis is a good 14 out of 19 laughs out of 10, because that's about when that's about the cutoff for when he left the movie.
I noticed the movie wasn't accurate because they didn't install all the mods in their Minecraft to give it like ray tracing and everything. It just didn't look right either. Something was off.
Yeah, they needed to have the proper things. Like there was no, they didn't show off any of like the hammers that you can have from those mods. You can have there was no like BC mod stuff, so they didn't have any of the big like drills and stuff like that you can get from that. Really sad.
The mod that turns all the dirt invisible, so you can see where the diamonds are, and then none of it was right.
Just putting hacks into the world.
Hacking into the world would have been very funny. Anyway, there's that. The other dog, I guess, is Garbage Man Garrett, who is a very good boy.
Yes, he is a very good boy.
He's a good boy, even though he's dumb as hell.
I honestly think that they had a really good movie there, like you were saying, between him and Steve. If they just leaned into like this fun bromance movie.
You can't have the washed up retro gamer adult be the main character in a children's film. I think that's the problem. Like
they needed to just do it as not a children's film. Minecraft has an audience of 30-year-olds.
I think kids will get it anyways, even if it isn't.
That too.
You don't have to have a child-friendly, super clean, fucking, animated movie.
Yeah, I also think that it's a disservice to think that kids have to only have kids as the protagonists in kids' movies and stuff.
Yeah.
Right? Like, for a good example right away, I think of like Secret of Nim. and how, like, think about what the plot of that movie is and what the main character's motivations are. The main character is a mother trying to save her child. Like, something that is so wildly out of a kid's worldview in a lot of ways, right? Like, at least in terms of what you think for this. So, but yet that's a really popular kids movie. People love that movie. I sure did when I was a kid. And I mean, it resonates with adults also because kids aren't stupid. They can handle some of those themes. Like, it doesn't need to get super adult, but to have like an adult character with adult motivations throughout the movie is fine. And also, that's me saying that Garrett the Garbage Man is an adult, which he isn't. So he's a man-child. They could have had him grow up throughout this movie and done a movie around that and had fun with it. Because
that would have been good,
I do actually think that his character, like, unironically, at first I was like, oh, they're doing the fucking Pixies thing again. Oh, God.
I also thought that,
because he was so... He's so unbelievably cringy. But they make him human, in a way. Like, in the beginning of it, they really do a good job of showing, like, he's kind of an asshole, but not enough of one. And he doesn't deserve the bad things that are happening to him in a lot of ways, right? He's just trying to live this life where he enjoys video games and all these kinds of things, and they just shit on him for it. And there's no real thing that he does that's like he's an irredeemable monster. He just is really, really into his one video game.
It's true.
That's his big sin. And they could have done a really fun job of having him be a main character and, like, I don't know, getting some appreciation for the stuff that he was doing, but instead they just kind of make him this side character idiot halfway through the movie and just drop the whole thing. And it's just sad because he was interesting and funny, and I thought that Jason Momoa actually did a good job with him, and he was like very funny. He was very wrestling coded for sure, which was interesting. And Steve, of course, ends up being very wrestling coded because it's Jack Black and he loves wrestling. All the Nacho Libre stuff.
I wonder if the main character was actually the vice principal and her trying to bang that villager.
Trying to bang the villager.
Yeah. Anyways, that's it for this week.
Maybe.
Thanks for listening, everybody, to Rough Cuts. You can support us on Patreon. We do appreciate it. We spent money, a significant amount, I would say.
Significant amount of money on this.
On this
yes.
one. And you know, you can also follow us on social media. We're on Blue Sky at Rough Cuts. You can email us, roughcutscast@gmail.com. And yeah, Minecraft.
I'm gonna go play Minecraft and think about my lost youth.
I'm gonna go look for a villager to bang.
Smart. Make sure you hit him with your Jeep Grand Cherokee so that he learns human language. You have to mentally link through the shared trauma of hitting him with your Jeep Grand Cherokee or it won't work. I'm sorry.
Look, if you want to hit somebody with a car, Jeep Grand Cherokee. All right, see you, folks.
If you want to hit something, you gotta hit something, if you know what I'm saying. If you want to hit that, you gotta hit that with your Jeep Grand Cherokee.
This local theater fell victim to the latest TikTok challenge, chicken jockey.
It was horrific.
It was full ices just thrown at people, you know, at the wall, at the screen.
It was a horrible scene.
This was the scene after one scene of a Minecraft movie. The theater ended up calling the police, but most of the culprits fled out the fire exit. Chaos at the big screen, all for the little screen.
They just somehow think that's okay because that's something they see on TikTok.
Even the film star Jack Black stepping in to remind kids to be respectful, a message this local theater echoes and appreciates.
It's a good film that people are enjoying, and they just need to enjoy it the right way.
Fuck? Who the hell are these dogs? Jesus Christ, it's like a fucking dog movie in here.